What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Ghost in the Night, a paranormal and true crime podcast. We are rebranding with the GITN podcast eventually, but right now we'll stick with Ghost in the Night. How's everybody doing tonight? How are you doing, Travis?
GITN's easier to fucking remember.
That is true.
We are not talking shit about our listeners. We're talking shit about ourselves.
Because we're idiots.
I forget the name of my own fucking podcast all the time. They're like, hey, Travis, what's the name of your podcast? I'll check it out. I'm like, Eggs Florentine over easy, motherfucker.
That is a very good question.
Peep game, check dig, G-check,
yes.
Whoop whoop.
But we are covering the cryptid world today because we don't do much cryptids. And we love cryptids.
We're cryptid walking on that ass.
Yeah, we're ice cubing it. For an old guy, he can move. I'll give him credit.
You mean to tell me there's snakes out there this big?
No, but yes, I like Tyler. Well, getting it in.
I said that shit fucking forever ago.
I know,
and you didn't. It didn't. It took a minute for it to trigger in your head.
He's been around that long though.
He has been around for a while.
He's one of the OGs.
We don't have very many OG listeners anymore, but he's fucking one of them.
Yes, but we are covering
Represizat like B-Rad G from the Malibu.
We are covering cryptids. We are talking the Chupacabra.
Where is that bitch?
That's Chupacabra.
Anybody who's new here, oh yeah, that's right. We have a Chupacabra. She's probably asleep.
Which is a baby Chupacabra.
No, Chupacabra ain't got shit on Chupacabra.
Yeah, she'll gum the shit out of you.
Oh, there you go. Quick side note. Sorry for the people listening on Spotify and shit, but two people in the chat. You guys see each other. Boom. One needs flooring, one sells flooring.
That's what we do. We bring people together.
We're like, I don't know, fucking, what's that shit called?
Magnets?
Professional people use that website app thing.
Matchmaker?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Grinder? No. Fuck, what's it called? God damn it. Fuck, you know what I'm talking about. We have one.
What?
We have one of these profiles. It's for like professional.
Oh, LinkedIn.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Angie's List. Nobody's hiring us on fucking Angie's List.
Yeah. We do birthday parties. Maybe.
I was a little off camera.
That's all right.
It's probably for the best.
Yes.
Although I am still so happy. Like, my double chin is just getting smaller as we speak.
That is true.
It's amazing what methamphetamines and malnutrition will do for you. That's not funny. That's not fun. I of all people in this room shouldn't be the one making that fucking joke. Yeah. Can I get a pack of sugar, please?
Sugar?
Yeah. Booger sugar.
All right. Yes, but we are doing cryptids, and we'll get to that momentarily. So if you're listening on your favorite podcast app and you are not cool enough to join us live on our YouTube channel, you can
fuck you.
You can fast forward about 5-10 minutes, and we will dive into the cryptid Chupacabra.
Oh, do you want me to bring that up, or do you have it up?
What?
The comment that we're going to talk about? The first comment in a long time that it was a negative comment, but it is so fucking funny that I want to talk about it.
Because this is a new segment on the GITM podcast. Our favorite comments.
Yes.
And what I love about...
Now that we're actually getting comments because we actually are like out there.
Because we're idiots. But what I love about commenters, they think it hurts our feelings.
I know, right? Especially, I love especially when it's somebody trying to talk shit and they have like an anime furry picture as their profile picture.
Yes. But if you are commenting negative, we love you just as much. We like you.
You still watched our video and commented on it. Algorithm fucking engaged.
And you can't say anything about us we haven't said about ourselves.
Oh yeah, nobody hates me. Nobody hates me more than I hate myself.
We 8 mile ourselves all the time. But we appreciate.
We did fuck my girl, and I'm still standing here screaming, fuck the free world. Now everybody in the 313. I fucking love that
But
movie.
We have a winner for the comment of the week.
Yeah, this shit was funny as fuck.
If you were,
it was hateful and hilarious.
If you were watching last week, wasn't the winner. It was one we chose to discuss. Was from a young. I had to be a kid in his mom's basement.
No, it was a grown man in his mom's basement.
Probably, but he ripped us and said we look like Michael Moore's testicles.
Which, while we're on the subject, I want to point out it is totally okay to live in your parents' house or your parents' basement.
Sure.
We're talking about a very specific parents' basement type of dweller here. The kind that, like, you know, like, just smells like shit. Their hair looks like the girl from The Ring. Like, they, you know, probably an incel. Talks about how it's the rest of the world's fault, why they can't get a girl. Even though they, you know, they smell like shit and they look like Rosie O'Donnell's fucking camel toe on a bad day.
Yeah, right. But he said we look like Michael Moore's testicles, which, you know, fine.
I would much rather look like Michael Moore's testicles than Macklemore's testicles.
I don't know.
Testicles. No, because Macklemore's testicles would probably be from the thrift shop.
Exactly.
Popping tags.
Right. But our point with that comment was, and Travis came up with something special, and I made a hashtag out of it, do better.
Hashtag do better.
And
hashtag.
Lo and behold, you ask, and we shall receive.
And we got flamed, and it was hilarious. It was hilarious and semi-accurate.
I have to read this to our wonderful listeners.
This shit was fucking hilarious. I actually laughed out loud when I saw this comment.
And he commented on the same video that Michael Moore's testicle lover commented on. He said, it's not the comment was inaccurate. I myself think you look like an unlikely duo of 80s Midwestern pedos.
No, you were the 80s Midwestern pedo.
Let me finish. A unlikely duo of 80s Midwestern pedo and an angry lesbian. Now, kudos.
That shit was fucking
That was
funny.
Creative. And you know what? You hit the nail right on the fucking head.
I don't give a fuck.
We look like an angry lesbian.
We will clip that and tag that motherfucker. That shit was funny.
So, we don't like to give out names here.
And we're not going to.
I'm just going to call you RJ. RJ, great job. That's what we mean. Do better. Come hard.
That was fucking hilarious. That shit was funny.
Come strong.
I legitimately laughed when I read that comment.
I was going to thumbs up. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do right
thumbs
now?
Thumbs up that shit.
I'm going to heart it. I'm going to heart it right here on live. Heart.
Boom.
Oh, can't. That's a picture. I can't do it. God, dumbass.
Now we don't. Not only are you mid 80s Midwestern pedophile,
I'm an idiot.
You're fucking dumb too.
Oh, hold on a minute. Let me go to here.
No, that shit was funny.
That was fun. You know what? I will heart it after this. Everybody go like that comment. Good job.
That shit was funny.
I will comment on it and say, you know what? That is a great comment. That's what we mean by
Can you leave
better.
GIFs as comments on YouTube? Because if you can, it should be that turn of the century standing ovation black and white video.
I'm just going to give him a thumbs up.
That shit was fucking funny.
That was good. We loved it.
Oh man.
What's Tyler says, Phil is just a lonely dad that is addicted to TikTok and
not anymore.
I don't do TikTok that much anymore.
He's given up TikTok.
I'm on Facebook or YouTube Shorts and Facebook Reels because we're actually getting some traction on Facebook for a change.
Yeah, it might be because I think we're unbanned from fucking Instagram now, and it's the same company. Pretty sure we're unbanned.
Yes, but, you know.
The Tolkien, you fucked that one up.
What?
I think he meant to say token Asian friend, which is still one of my favorite aspects of South Park. The one black kid in South Park, his name in the show is Token.
Yeah.
And I just find that, like, it's just so, like, I don't know how they get away with what they get. The black kid's named Token. And then there was one episode where they started a boy band or some shit like that. And they're like, da-da-da-da-da, and Token's going to play bass. And he was like, what the fuck makes you think I know how to play bass guitar? And he was like, Token, we all know how you know how to play bass guitar. And he's like, God damn it. And he just puts it on and starts fucking playing bass. I'm like, racist.
Okay. So anything else you want to talk about before we...
I have something I want to talk about, but I feel like it will work naturally into the center of some of this research.
Of the Chupacabra?
Yes.
The Fanged or Fiction? The Legend of Chupacabra.
You'll never find blum 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 blum.
Now there
a
is
Hispanic cryptid like mine.
There is no doubt there are a bunch of strange cryptid stories out there, but one of the most unusual, one of the most terrifying, one of the most interesting is the legend of the Chupacabra.
Which I find funny that you say that because, like, I feel like I planted the Chupacabra seed in your head a while ago. The story we talked about is very interesting.
Which story?
The thylacine story. The Tasmanian tiger.
Looked. I could not find a lot in on that. So
there's not a lot. It's just factual that they were.
Is that
on their way here? The Tasmanian tiger.
Is that the one with the? It looks like a coyote with stripes on its ass end.
Kind of, but much leaner, and they were really weird though. Like they had fucking they could open their jaws wider like a reptile. Like they could, like they
which
could open.
Which we'll get into, ties in a lot to the.
Exactly, because we will. I can touch on that.
Which I looked into it, but I couldn't find a lot on it. So I said, "You know more about that shit than I do." So,
I'm just going off the top of the dome because I have other fucking factors into that I will bring up when we speak on it.
Okay, the Chupacabra is said to inhabit parts of the Americas, with a reported site in Puerto Rico, which is part of the Americas. I don't know why I said that.
Puerto Rico,
Mexico, and naturally the United States.
It's a great football play too.
What?
The annexation of Puerto Rico from Little Giants. 90s kids know.
Who is that? That was Al Bundy and Rick Moranis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck, what's his name? Al Bundy. Ed
O'Neill.
Yes.
Yes.
Shaq's dad.
Okay, let's do a brief little.
That's Shaq's white dad.
Let's do a brief little history.
Pig. Lesson. Sorry, I'm watching fucking Married with Children?
Classic. I love Married.
I'm watching that shit tonight. Al Bundy is a national treasure.
He is.
Dude, just him fucking with Darcy. I could watch him fucking with Darcy all day long. Oh, I watched, speaking of watching stuff, I watched Bert Kreischer's special last night.
Oh, Razzle Dazzle?
Oh, I was cracking the fuck up, dude. The way he talks about his kids, even, like, the way he talks about his kids, knowing what type of a father he really is, because I listened to his podcast and shit like that, like, knowing that, like, he's a supportive, good dad. But the way that he just rips his family up in his stand-up is so fucking funny.
Well, like, one of the best bits in there is the deaf child sign.
Oh, my God.
That's fucking hilarious. You have to go see it.
No, dude, the one that got me was the one where he's talking about the bidding war over the snow machine. And she was like, oh, he's like, Dad, you just dropped a big dick on this room. And then she said, 900. He said, you're bidding against me, you fucking idiot.
Yes, but with the deaf child one, at the end of it, not to ruin his joke, but when he said, I wonder why. How do they know to put this? Right. It was fucking classic. I started fucking.
Oh my God, dude!
So go check out Bert's latest Netflix special.
Razzle dazzle.
But I will say this about Bert. I love Bert.
Oh, his story about the escape room was great too.
Yes, but
especially considering you and I have talked about, like, I think we should do that. I think we should do an escape room.
But and this is topical. Bert, when he laughs on a podcast or a video, his big ass turns into a chupacabra.
Dude.
It's almost fucking comical.
It's worse than like a fucking Japanese anime fan at a fucking convention.
All right.
Kawaii.
Let's get back into the chupacabra. Brief overview. Let's kind of just hit some highlights here. Translation, which I was not aware of this. I did not know this about the...
Something about sucking, isn't it? Isn't chupar to suck?
It basically roughly translates into goat sucker.
That's a great insult. Somebody call us a goat sucker in the comments.
So
that would be funny.
I believe I'm assuming it's Spanish.
Yeah.
So I wonder which is.
Well, that's why I know, because like I said, I'm pretty sure chupar is to suck in Spanish. Don't ask me why I know. I know that because
how many blowjobs have you tried to get? in Mexico?
I just got like I speak terrible Spanglish, but like I'm pretty all right at cussing somebody out. They're like, chupa mi culo, pinche cabrone, like, suck my asshole.
Okay, but the chupacabra is a cryptid that has captured the people's imagination across the Americas. The legend began, technically, this is where things get dicey here. And I'm going to say this, and then I'll preface it a little later on in the podcast.
Now, by dicey, do you mean like slightly racist undertones?
No. Okay. There will be no racism in this, unless you're a cat person. Because I'm sure I will say something derogatory toward a cat.
We've been over this. I'm not a big cat person. I don't hate them, but I'm not really a fan.
But the legend didn't officially begin, but became most notable or more worldwide in the mid-1990s.
I will address that question at the end of the show.
Well, I have some earlier sightings, and like I said, we'll get.
Oh no, not that one. The one in the comments.
Oh, what?
There's a good question in the comments, and I will address it at the end of the show.
Okay. The reports of strange hairless creatures attacking and killing livestock started to emerge from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Since then, sightings of the Chupacabra have spread to other parts of the Americas, including Mexico and the United States, mainly the southern United States. The physical appearance of the Chupacabra, it's a small, hairless creature. Now, this is another... We're going to dive into... It's changed over the years, and it's evolved. But roughly the most common the best way to identify a Chupacabra or classify how it looks, whatever, I can't speak, is roughly a small canine animal, hairless, roughly the size of a small bear, roughly 3 to 4 foot tall. With
at the back, like at the shoulders, like how they measure most things.
I think so.
Quadrupedal. Okay.
I think so. I would assume so, but I'm not a paleontologist or cryptozoologist or biologist.
I do happen to be this podcast's friendly local archaeology and paleontology PhD holder.
No.
In case anybody was wondering.
It's often reported to have spikes running down its spine, reported to have a head similar to that of a reptile, which, like I said, we're going to talk about this, how the identity or the appearance of this has evolved
now
over the years.
Just to clarify, are you talking about now? You're talking about the secondary version, right?
What this is basically no. This is actually the reptile version is the original version.
Okay, but like that's what I'm saying. So okay,
yes, this is the first version of the
confuzzled.
Chupacabra.
So it's
but it's said to have
it's a Stegosaurus.
Right. It's said to have leathery skin that resembles scales with a green type tint to it.
Is my fucking grandma.
Eyes are typically described as being large and glowing. The mouth is said to be full of sharp teeth. Well, of course. Chupacabra moves very quickly, with some claiming it moves on 2 legs, like a werewolf, maybe. I don't know.
I would like to imagine that it has more of a waddly run.
A drunk fat guy?
Like the Danny DeVito's Penguin.
Right.
Chester Cobblepot. Good man. Great weed.
But other people have reported seeing it
I should have brought my... Never mind.
Seen it run on 4 legs. So, who knows? Maybe, have you seen that I did see a TikTok with the dancing dog where the dog mimics the girl dancing.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen, oh my God, it's the cutest thing. I can't remember the name of the TikTok, but this girl, I'm pretty sure she lives the van life.
Yeah.
And then she has her own Chupacabra.
Oh.
Yeah. But like something was going on with it or something, I don't know, it's got some kind of physical thing, much like our Chupacabra. So it has like a little purple neck brace. It looks like a pool noodle kind of, and it's so cute. And she'll be like,
wearing a neck roll.
Dude, she'll be like, is it treat time? And the dog's like, and she gets all excited, and she's like, and then she goes, okay, let's high five about it. And she just sticks her finger up, and the dog like 3-leg trots up to her and like pats her on the fucking finger. And it is the fucking most adorable thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, who doesn't like a cute Chupacabra?
I was just talking about that with my food rep today at work.
Chupacabra?
No, we were talking about like animals and like well, not really. We were talking about movies. I said, because I was talking about how I want to watch The Whale. Mm-hmm. And I was like, apparently it'll make you cry. And he was like, I don't remember the last time I cried. I'm probably due for a good one. And I was like, apparently this is the way to go. I was like, or you just be like me and watch any movie about a fucking dog. Put on Marley and Me. Old Travy's fucking shedding a tear.
Old
Yeller.
I'm an emotional mess.
You know what a fucking good sad cry dog movie that everybody forgets about?
What?
My Dog Skip with Frankie Muniz.
I do not think I've ever seen that.
It's not a very good movie, but it's got Because of Winn-Dixie. I've
seen
as
that,
sad.
But it's been years. I mean, my oldest was
I remember seeing it and I was like, is that fucking Dave Matthews? And then the guitar came out and I was like, that's fucking Dave Matthews.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, all the fucking suburban white women are going to be like, we got to go see Winn-Dixie. I'm going to soak the theater seats. Because Dave Matthews just got a wispy, magical voice. He's like, Dave Matthews' voice is like your first pair of satin panties in high school. You don't really know why you like them, but you do.
Nice. All right, getting back to how the Chupacabra moves, some people have reported that it hops like a kangaroo.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm down for a fucking reptilian alien fucking thing hopping around like a kangaroo.
Or could it just be some redneck from Puerto Rico had a kangaroo?
Do they have rednecks in Puerto Rico?
Every country has rednecks.
A rojo neck? What?
A rojo neck?
Yeah. Driving around in his fucking 50s Chevy because that's all they have. Oh, that's Cuba. I would love to go to Havana.
Right now,
like step back in time. That'd be so cool. I'd walk around in a zoot suit and be like, "Zoot suit riot," and then they'd be like, "He wear the fucking uniform of the battle." Oh no, that was California. Never mind. You know that was a real thing. The zoot suit riots.
No,
that's a real thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's part of the lore of how the Mexican mafia started.
No shit.
Yeah, like there was like a race war. Between blacks and Mexicans.
Charlie Manson was just.
No, this was in like the 40s though.
It's too late.
Right. But yeah, no, there was a race war between Mexicans and black people in like Los Angeles or some shit like that. So black dudes, like when it popped off, any Hispanic dude wearing like a zoot suit, like, you know, the big fucking high-waisted pants and all that shit, like that, motherfucker, fuck you, Pablo.
Sweet.
But yeah, that's part of the story of the formation of the Mexican mafia.
Sweet.
I have a great book on the about a Mexican mafia member if you want to read it. It's actually very intriguing.
Well, maybe one live stream will read from it.
I stopped reading it for like 6 months because I got to the pictures in the middle.
Yeah.
And he looks like a Hispanic version of my dad.
Huh.
Yeah, it was weird. I was shook. I put it down forever. I still haven't finished it because I moved and shit. But yeah, like I was living with my brother at the time. I was like, look at this shit. And he was like, that looks like dad. And I was like, I know, right? Didn't pick it up again. I've read a little bit since, but I got to do another book. That's right, motherfuckers. I know how to read.
Slowly, but he knows how to read.
Takes me about 6.5 years to get through a 100-page book.
That's not bad. I'll take it. Anyway, let's get back to the legend. Oh, no. Yeah, the legends and early sightings of the Chupacabra. Now, like I just mentioned, most people say it started in the mid-1990s. However, in Puerto Rico, there were reports in the 1970s. Many reports of strange livestock mutilations started to surface. All of these mutilations in the U.S. and Puerto Rico, because we are big on mutilations here.
That was just Juan Pablo having a fucking crazy Saturday night with some tequila. Or, well, no, it's south of the border. They probably drink mezcal, like
Probably.
real men with the fucking worm. Everybody talks about the worm. That's not in fucking tequila, people. It's in mezcal. Apparently, if it's good mezcal, it'll make you hallucinate if you eat the worm.
Sweet. I will never know that.
I mean, if you can palate tequila, you can palate mezcal.
We know I can't palate tequila. I will drink anything, but not tequila.
I mean, I can drink it. I'm not gonna like it.
Oh, I will not drink
I don't mind a quality silver tequila. Like Patron Silver, I can drink it. It's not my favorite, but I can drink it.
Okay.
Especially cowboy style.
I can't
do hot sauce.
I can't even smell it.
Hot sauce. Boom.
I'll
Instead
get
of salt.
sick if I smell it. But all of these mutilations did have strange puncture marks. The animals had been drained of blood, plus no blood was found at the scene. All sound familiar?
That's most livestock mutilations.
Right. The number of cases grew to around 30 cases in 1975.
Oh my! In a 5-year period? Oh, fucking alert the press.
No, in the mid-70s. So
okay.
In a year. This is 1975.
Or are we gonna get further to this? This goes further back, technically, doesn't it?
This is the earliest
Or is this version of it?
The Puerto Rico version. Yes.
To carry a switchblade. Oh, sorry.
Now, there are other.
Fuck. Where's fucking Gonzo when we need him? When we're talking about some Puerto Rican shit.
I don't know. Gonzo's not here.
Man. I love me a Puerto Rican parade and some shit, or a Puerto Rican family. Man, they are some dancing motherfuckers. They're loud as shit, but goddamn, they make some good ass food. They're fun as fuck.
Now,
they drink their ass off.
One interesting thing you got to remember, we're talking about the Chupacabra here, right?
Chupacabra.
Many locals at the time in 1975 believed this was some kind of supernatural vampire bird.
That's even fucking cooler. It was Mothman.
Hold on.
Fuck me. I fucked it up.
You fucking blew your load. You have premature ejaculation all the goddamn time. Jesus Christ.
That is my cross to bear.
Some witnesses on their accounts saw a bird-like creature landing around the time of the attacks. Some also believe the creature Oh, wait, where am I going?
Sucks to suck.
Sucks to suck my... Never mind. Some people believe the creature could be related to UFOs because of the landing and such. Mm-hmm. And plus, UFO sightings...
So because UFOs land like birds?
Well...
That's the technology we need to look into, flapping UFOs.
Mainly they associate it with UFOs because at the time, there was an abundance of UFO sightings in the night skies of Puerto Rico at the time.
We need to get the crazy hair guy from Ancient Aliens on here to talk to us about the Chupacabra. Life goals. I also want to get Forrest Gallant on here. I don't think it's going to be possible, but I want to try.
Probably not. Now, these early accounts lean more toward a demon type. More like I said, supernatural, because it did have wings. Now, like you were talking about, it did, and we will talk about, I should say, another, because like I said earlier, most of the sightings are reported in the southern United States. However, there have been reports of sightings further north, in a certain area where there is a winged cryptid reported, or close to a certain area, which we'll cover later. But speaking of the Mothman, a lot of the description of the early, like I said, the early Chupacabra is more almost alien-like, more of the reptilian-like. You throw wings on it, that's the Mothman. Glowing eyes.
Chupacabra, telefono home.
Right. So,
what if? Oh my God! We need to make it happen. That just made me think. We need to watch E.T. dubbed in Spanish.
No, we do not.
That'd be fucking phenomenal. No. We can put on subtitles, but that shit would be so fucking funny. No, you think they dub E.T. too? That would be E.T. Telefono a casa.
Where do you come up with this shit? Is what I want to know.
Right here, live on YouTube. You're fucking live and direct in your face.
Now, like I was talking about, the early accounts was more demon, more reptilian, more alien-like. It wasn't until later that the canine version of the creature became more popular.
When the fucking Taco Bell commercials started coming out.
Yeah. The Chupacabra's legend spread quickly. Sightings of the creature began to emerge in other parts of the Americas, in Mexico, and in the United States. It is often described as being a creature that feeds on the blood of livestock, leaving puncture marks, much like the Puerto Rico one, on the animals' necks, but it looked more like a dog, essentially, a rabid, crazy, pretty good sized dog. But you still did get some of the spikes on the spine. Mm-hmm. Basically, we lost the wings, and it became more human, not human, more canine features in the face, to a certain extent. Now, the Chupacabra is also said to attack killer pets, so if you have a little Chupacabra, don't leave it out by itself in Puerto Rico or Texas or Mexico.
Damn, we should have set it up so we could have the fucking dog just right here. So there could be, we could have put Chupacabra revealed live on YouTube.
Right. Now,
and she'd just be back there saying,
the Chupacabra.
In case anybody was wondering, I did that. Because we did put out a short about the dog. Yes, the dog is well fed. Yes, the dog has a nice comfy bed. But she's fucking needy, and we complain about her sometimes. Yeah. And she also is annoying as fuck because she can't bark. She just screams.
Like a Chupacabra.
Literally. Like, I'm terrified. Dude, it happened to me before we blocked her off because she started pissing in my fucking room. Little fuck face.
She don't like you. Fuck you.
She does. She only likes me when nobody else is here. When it's just me and her here, she fucking adores me. But when you or better half comes over, she fucking wants nothing to do with me. But no, every time, like back when you would go to work and I was off and she would just come back there and get in my bed, I would scare the shit out of me because I'd be laying there, because I have horrible sleep apnea because I'm a fat fuck and I die a little bit every time I try to go to sleep or tie my shoes.
And you look like an angry lesbian.
Actually, a sidebar, I actually pointed that out the other day. I tied my shoes at work yesterday.
Yeah.
And I looked at the guy I was working with. I was like, new best part about dieting and working out. I can breathe when I tie my shoes. But no, she'd come up into my room. Actually, I take that back. She doesn't get in my bed. She would come back there and go until I picked her up and put her in my bed. And then she always, likes to sleep like in the curve of your legs if your legs are like bent. So she would do that. And then me being me, in my own bed, a human being would roll over and she would just off the fucking, I'd pull the fucking blanket and she'd go flying and all I'd hear is, ah! And I'd wake up ready to fuck up a crackhead and I just see her little ass just going.
So wake up, fucker.
And then she goes back to sleep. And then I get up and she doesn't get out of my bed for fucking 2.5 hours.
I know. Well,
sidebar over.
Basically, what it is, she's like, well, I'm here alone. Angry lesbian's here. I guess I'll be nice to him.
I just don't understand why she started pissing and shitting in my room.
Because she didn't like you. She said, fuck that fucker.
It was weird because she didn't do that before I moved in, did she?
Very rarely.
I mean, yeah, she'll have an accident, if one of us is late from work or something like that. But that's whatever, she can't do anything about that. That's weird. Fuck you.
Anyway,
bitch.
The Chupacabra has become a cultural phenomenon, appearing in movies, books, and naturally TV shows. Most notably, what was that? Monster Hunters or whatever did a nice one on that.
Is that the one with what's his face, the really tall guy that talks like this?
I think so.
We're going on a 1,000-mile expedition to find this thing, and then we're gonna fucking run from it when we find it.
Now here's the.
I do love Josh Gates.
Oh, I'm sure he's tried to find.
I do. I'm not gonna. I fuck with Josh Gates. That dude's funny.
Yeah. I can't.
I enjoy watching Josh Gates' shows.
Now here comes the no shit portion of the podcast.
The herp derp.
However, despite extensive efforts to capture or study the creature, there has been no conclusive evidence of its existence.
You don't say.
No shit, little beaver.
No way. My mind is officially blown.
And many people believe the Chupacabra is nothing more than a legend or a hoax or a misidentified dog or coyote with mange, and we'll get into that here.
Accurate, somewhat accurate physically.
We'll kind of talk about possible theories of what it actually is when.
Well, it's just the coyote or dog with mange thing is, within the realm of our knowledge, pretty closely accurate to the description, in the dark or fleeting. You know what I'm saying? It's just like werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
Like a werewolf.
It's probably a bear with mange.
Yes.
Walking on two legs. Yes.
Yes, bears with mange are fucking terrifying. They look
anything with mange is terrifying.
Or a fucking, we've talked about it on the show before, a hairless chimp. Fucking horrifying.
Anything hairless that normally has hair is fucking terrifying.
Well, then when you take the hair off of a chimp, you can see the insane muscle definition on them.
Oh, they're jacked.
And they're giant balls that they look like they're sitting on all the time. And then they got feet next to them.
At least
what the
didn't
fuck
say
is
we
that?
look like chimp balls. That would have been an insult.
Yeah. Or bonobos.
Oh, those are the ones with the baboons have the really gigantic
asses.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, no, bonobo. Bonobo is a subspecies of chimpanzee that is I believe it's ever so slightly more closely related to us genetically than a regular chimpanzee. And then there's those fucking lion killer chimps. Have you seen those motherfuckers?
No.
They're 5 or 6 feet tall or some shit. I don't know if they still exist or if they know that they exist or not, but at one point they were big as fucking. They would actually fucking kill lions.
No shit.
Yeah. They're literally our size. So you think a 3 foot tall chimp is what, 2.5 or 3 humans worth of strength or some shit they say?
Yeah.
Imagine one twice that size.
Strong motherfucker.
Yeah, it's a crackhead gorilla. Gorillas are amazing too. You ever think about the fact that gorillas are that strong and that big, and at least scientifically, as far as I know, they are herbivorous.
You don't use these big words. I'm stupid.
They eat plants.
Oh,
and they're 6 times stronger than the average man.
Right. Have you seen that? There's a TikTok and a YouTube short going around with the gorilla
that's eating and he farts and he stops and he's like, "Did you hear that?"
No, and he's just tagging doggy style, or not even doggy style. His partner is just laying there on her stomach.
Yeah.
And he's just going, not even going, slow rocking the motion. I mean, not even just rapid, just
he's
long stroking it.
He's the Barry White of gorillas.
Right. He's just, he's diving deep, slowly paced, perfect, rhythmic. And then he's got the little one behind him touching his asshole.
Oh my God! Have you seen the video?
He just keeps swatting him away.
Have you seen?
Doesn't break stride.
I think I have seen that. Have you seen the video of I think it's a capuchin monkey, Like it's sitting there. It's somebody's.
Look who's here now.
Now you're here.
Gonzo's
after
here.
we were talking about Puerto Rican shit.
Jesus Christ.
But no, have you seen, dude? I saw it the other night again. I haven't seen it in so long. It's so good. I'm pretty sure it's a capuchin monkey. It's like Ace Ventura's monkey.
Okay.
Spike. And it's like sitting there, and like it's somebody's pet because it's sitting on this bed with a English bulldog, and it's behind the English bulldog, and you can see the English bulldog's ass, and you can see this little monkey with his diaper on. And he's sitting there like looking at the bulldog, and you see he's like, it is so funny. He like spreads his fingers like this because he's a monkey, and they have weird human hands. You know what I mean? And he's sitting there looking at this dog's ass, and he's like goes like this, and then he goes. And he like fucking four fingers the dog's asshole.
Ouch.
And the dog like jumps around and he's like, ah! And I'm like, no, you can't get mad at the dog for getting mad at you for fingering his asshole, dude. Like, you sneaky little fuck.
Asshole. Okay, let's talk about some popular sightings. I like this one because of the name. The vampire beast of Brazil.
Fuck yeah.
You
mean what's that chick's name? The fucking UFC fighter. Chris Cyborg?
Yeah, what about
that? Should be her new nickname.
The
Vampire Beast of Brazil. Please don't fucking find me and beat the shit out of me, Chris Cyborg.
In 1997, a series of gruesome animal attacks occurred in a rural part of Brazil, mainly goats, chickens, and other small livestock, and their blood had been drained from their bodies. Of course,
this was Vanderlei Silva.
Yes,
they talked about this on Joe Rogan. It was Vanderlei Silva and
well, he looks like
Yoel Romero recorded it.
He looks like a serial killer. Residents began to attribute these killings to a creature they called the vampire beast. The attacks soon gained national attention, the news outlets reporting on the mysterious and terrifying creatures that was allegedly behind them. The vampire beast was described as a hairless, dog-like creature with sharp teeth and claws.
Wolf, motherfucker.
You
know what else is a dog-like creature?
Snoop Dogg.
Corona Extra Snoop Dogg. Oh, it's the big Snoop D-O double chisel. Popping a carizzle. Let me get that line, baby.
Now,
I find Snoop Dogg to be a very hard voice to imitate, as somebody who imitates a lot of voices naturally. Oh my God, I saw another good fucking Mike Tyson today.
Oh shit!
Did you see him meet Hezbollah?
No.
You know, I found out about Hezbollah. Apparently, he's like very devout Muslim.
Okay.
Like he won't go to nightclubs. He won't make appearances for any of that. He won't be around alcohol. He won't be around women.
Me neither.
Well, but not by choice.
Not by choice.
I knew he was Muslim, but I didn't know. Like he's like very religious. I didn't know that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
He's about his shit though. He's funny as fuck though. I watched a whole compilation of just him like at like aquariums being like, "Oh shit." I also saw that fucking super goddamn racist white lady video again.
You have to be more specific.
It was a Bad Friends clip. They showed it to Bobby Lee, and I am on board with Bobby Lee. It is hilarious, but it is the most, as an Asian American, it is like the most fucking racist. I think it's a viral video of all time. I don't know where this chick's at. I don't know if it's a fucking wedding reception or what, but she's white as fuck. She's blonde, which is fine. I love white people. But, like, she's like, sings this whole song about wanting to be a ninja with an accent. She's like, I want to be ninja, dude. She's like, with my nunchucks. Like it's infuriating. I wonder if I can find it. I'll play it on the microphone. I don't give a fuck.
All right, while you're looking for that, okay. The vampire beast of Brazil was said to be nocturnal and capable of jumping high fences to reach its prey, which kind of plays into the kangaroo. You know, earlier from Puerto Rico, they said it hopped like a kangaroo. So maybe there's something to this. A lot of similarities.
Found it.
Okay.
Hold on. Sidebar. This shit is so fucking racist, dude. It's hilarious. Hold on. I got to turn my volume up. She said, I want to chop chow down, take chow down to Chinatown.
Hey.
Yes! Gonzo's got it. There he is. If you look at the Asian lady in the back, just fuck. Everybody else is all happy. The Asian lady's back there just fucking staring at her like, you dumb bitch. Look at her. She's over here. Look.
All right. Well,
chow down to Chinatown.
In her defense, have you ever talked to...
Oh, God.
It is human nature, or maybe just American nature.
Sorry, that was me. Great impression.
Maybe it's just American nature to when we are talking about something of that culture, our voice kind of goes to that.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
But, like, I was like, I just don't understand the context of it. Like, what is the context of the song? Oh, he can defend it all he wants. It's super racist, but it is so fucking funny.
Seriously, if you're how many times have we been talking about Russian something or other, and you go into a Russian accent?
I did it. I've done it like 3 times already.
Or British, you go into a British. It just
fuck off, yeah.
Or Australian, you do. It's our nature.
Australian's my favorite.
I mean, I
actually Indian. I think is my favorite to do.
And it's like if you go over to another country and you're there, you will eventually not pick up their dialect, but pick up how they talk.
Yeah.
And you will have that kind of. It's just because I think we are.
I mean, look at Andrew Tate. Like Andrew Tate lived a lot of his life in the UK and a lot of his life in the US, and he's still him and his brother Tristan both have a British twang to some of the words they say. Now throw in the fact that he also has a little bit of like a zest of like sexual assault on him the way he talks because he is who he is.
Gonzo, I wasn't talking about the words. I was talking about the tone in which she was speaking. Now, what was really offensive is how she was getting into it.
Dude, it's like 4 minutes long. It's a whole fucking song. She performs it. She's like, and you know what? I might do it. I might become ninja soon. And I'm like, I swear to God, I will fucking rear end you and your goddamn Tahoe so fast, Bethany.
All right.
Just to fucking high five you, to be like, I know that you don't like my people by the way that you made that song.
Maybe
but
she
you
loves
know what?
your people. Maybe she does. Maybe that is her way of showing respect.
Whatever. That bitch just grew up watching fucking Jackie Chan Adventures on fucking WB on Saturdays. 90s kids, if you know, you know. That show was a shit. I still know how to say Uncle's fucking chant. Have you ever watched Jackie Chan Adventures, his animated series?
I have to say this for our audio listeners on.
Sorry for all the sidebars.
No, for our audio listeners on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio.
What? I'm part Asian, so it's okay.
Travis is allowed to do these voices because he is part Asian.
But no, he did. Jackie Chan had a fucking animated, like a cartoon on WB Kids.
And I will say this: you should be on the YouTube channel to prove it. So go like and subscribe that shit as you use it.
Do I look that Asian?
Take your glasses off.
Oh, I do. I do look
Asian,
more Asian
as fuck.
I literally look more. People don't believe me when I say that I look more Asian without my glasses. They're like, "How's that work?" I'm like, "They're fucking magnifying glasses." Like, what the fuck? But no, yeah, Jackie Chan, and he worked and lived with his uncle. He called him uncle, and his uncle had a Chinese magic thing that he always had a puffer fish. And he'd go, "You mo gui gui vibes out, you mo gui gui vibes out." For all I know, that's like just a list of cuss words, but I don't know.
All right, let's get back to the Chupacabra and Vampire Beast of Brazil, real quick.
Rewind. Ninja.
Now, we were talking about the Vampire Beast of Brazil before the racist tirade. Travis and Gonzo went on.
This shit is so funny, man.
Brazilian authorities launched an investigation into the attacks, bringing in animal experts and forensic scientists to analyze the evidence. However, who's calling you on our
fucking Gonzo's trying to call me on Instagram.
Jesus Christ, Gonzo, we're not putting you in.
Should I call him or should I answer?
Oh, go ahead. I don't give a shit. Hold on. Let me get through this part. However, no concrete evidence of the vampire beast was ever found.
The fuck do you want?
Gonzo's telling you to pick up the phone in the chat.
The fuck do you want? Hold on. What do you want?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Good.
All right. No, I got a question on the Asian topic.
On the Asian topic? All right. Am I still Asian when I wake up?
I mean, do you feel Asian when you wake up?
Well, I mean, I wake up with a small dick and just a massive craving for soy sauce and rice noodles. So yeah.
And Phil, do you feel living with an Asian? Do you feel for your life? Fear for your life?
Not at all.
That has nothing to do with the Asian. That just has to do with my bathroom activities.
Yes, and the bathroom is very close to where I lay my head to sleep. So there's a chance I could die of fumigation at any time.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys.
No problem.
Long time, first time. What the fuck was that about?
No, we've talked to him before.
I know. You know how everybody on the radio shows go, long time, first time, long time?
First time listener, or long time listener, first time caller, Ned.
Thank you, Gonzo, for adding to the show. This has went so far off the rails, I don't even think Ray Charles could bring this motherfucker back on. Yeah, he would have a better shot at bringing this back on track than...
Hey, we're interactive.
All right. Okay, so naturally, the Brazilian authorities, to recap, found no evidence that this was legitimate. Like we said, big shocker.
No shit.
Now, skeptics suggest that the attacks were...
Wait, what?
What? Skeptics?
I thought you said skeptics. I was like, now that's fucking racist. What about,
Skeptics?
What, sevens?
Skeptics? Maybe I did. Fuck, I don't know. I had a stroke. I can't fucking read.
That's fair.
And I had a stroke, and I'm damn near illiterate. And I'm 50, and I can't see anyway. I'm liable to say anything at this point.
All fair points. Go on.
But skeptics suggest that the attacks were the work of wild dogs or other predators, while others speculate that it could be the case of mass hysteria or a hoax. Fuck. I gotta stop reading the chat.
You're welcome.
Despite the lack of concrete evidence,
want egg roll?
It has become part of local folklore, and once again, a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, and blah blah blah. Now, we'll cover this a little bit more, but I think mass hysteria plays a big role in this, and we'll talk about that more at the end when we.
Well, especially when you're talking about some of the regions that this shit probably happened in. Like you start, if you have something out there draining one chicken in a night, and then it happens 30 times in a 3-month period, like that, when you're dealing with a community that requires that
they live
that
on,
livestock to survive, you're gonna freak the fuck out.
It's not some fucking yuppie just wanting a few eggs in the morning.
Yeah, it's not like one of these assholes that lives around us. Like whoever has that goddamn rooster that lives somewhere around our neighborhood that goes the fuck off at like 6. But I haven't heard in a while, so hopefully they killed that cock.
Hopefully they had fucking KFC chicken tenders at some point.
That dirty bitch.
Anyway, where was I at? Okay, now let's get into the Texas Chupacabra.
I just had this idea. It's kind of erroneous on this whole thing, but I think it's funny. We should put together a cookbook, a GITN podcast cookbook, and you and I will work on a chicken dish for you with Hispanic roots and flavors, and it will be called Pollo Stroco.
What does pollo mean? I know what
chicken.
I'm pretty sure what.
Like Pollo Loco, but it'll be Pollo Stroco.
Are you making fun of my stroke, or because I
absolutely,
or masturbation? Which one is it?
Oh,
I didn't know. You gotta be more specific when you're talking stroke with me.
Oh no, because we can do Pollo Stroco for you, and then we can do like jerk off chicken.
Okay.
With a nice Caribbean flavor.
Okay. All right, the Texas Chupacabra. Or Chupacabra, not Chupacabra, not the little little Mexican dog we got running around here.
Where the fuck are you?
She's on the couch. She's on her mountain of.
That's why she doesn't like me. I speak some English to her. Ven acá. Oye.
Now you've just offended her with your shitty Spanish.
Like the front of my Spanish workbook in high school. Ven conmigo.
All right. The first reporting of the Texas Chupacabra came in about 1995 in a small town in Elmdorf.
Let me guess. The Texas Chupacabra is different because it's bigger, loves red meat and guns, and George Bush.
No. It just was found in Texas. A local rancher, A local rancher claimed that several of his goats had been killed and drained of their blood. He had seen a strange creature lurking around the property the night before. The creature
that was your wife.
The creature was described as being around 4 feet tall with spiky hair, a long tail, and fangs.
Okay, it was your mother-in-law.
So it was just a millennial goth person pretending to be a vampire.
Yeah, that was a fucking... I'm trying to think of the perfect name for that human being. Astrid. Nah, Astrid was a character from fucking Vikings. That's way too cool. River. This is that was not a cryptid. That was a human being that was conceived at the gathering of the Juggalos.
Okay.
We should go there.
Okay, we can.
It's like a 3-day concert, which I'm cool with because Tech Nine and his whole record label go there usually.
Sweet.
I don't give a fuck about the rest. I mean, ICP is cool and all. I just think they're funny.
Insane
Clown Posse.
That's what I was trying to get. See.
Yeah, they're like I don't.
Are they still? Aren't they dead?
No,
they got to be my age.
Close to it, probably. But no, I'm pretty sure they're sober now, both of them. Because I think Twisted is also sober.
Well, that takes the fun out of it.
I don't know, but their shit's still like I don't credit them for being like lyrical geniuses by any means, but like they do crack me the fuck up. Any song that has a grown man going, fuck you, automatically I'm in.
Won us over.
Or Shazam, Bam, Shagga like a locust, Shaggy the clown back like scoliosis.
Gotta rhyme that shit somehow.
It's automatically funny to me.
All right. The rancher said that he saw this creature leap over a fence and disappear in the night that he saw that particular creature. The news of the Texas Chupacabra
We got a juggalo in the chat.
Quickly spread with reports of sightings coming from all over the state at this point. In many cases, people claim to see the creature attacking or killing livestock, leaving behind the drained bodies.
So it's the guy's ex-wife.
Yes. Hysteria reached a fever pitch in 2004, and a group of ranchers in
Guero,
that Texas city, claimed to have captured one of the creatures.
I love how I'm Japanese American, and I am responsible for just all of the cultural words on this show.
Hey, I can't be canceled if I don't attempt it.
That's fair enough. I did watch a lot of Telemundo as a child. Telemundo.
They captured a dog-like creature and said it was the Chupacabra. They handed it over to local authorities.
Sure, it was. What was it?
Well, we'll get to that. The creature identity and origin remained a mystery for some time, with some people speculating that it was a new species or an alien creature. However, and there's always a however, DNA testing revealed that the creature was a coyote with mange, a skin disease that causes hair loss and a sickly appearance.
Yes, yeah. Anything with mange looks like shit.
Now, I believe in one of these, I think was it Monster Quest? Did that?
I love their fucking segue scene where it's just like that completely unrecognizable because it's just a portion of it monster eye, and it's like, and they'll be talking about like a fucking fish, but for some reason they got like a Bigfoot like.
Now, in one of these Texas sightings, the lady actually found one, or found it dead, and did what any good fucking Texan would do.
Shot it more?
No, took it to a taxidermist.
Oh, fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
And I think she was covered in the Monster Quest. And also there was a police video.
I woke up
of a
and
police
I
car
found
cam,
it.
Of a police car cam following one.
A car cam?
Yeah, the car cam.
Dash cam?
Dash cam, car cam. What the fuck?
God, you are old.
Whatever. Fuck it. I don't give a shit.
An automobile camera.
Dash cam. Whatevs. But apparently they were following one. But it was probably, like I said, or like a coyote or some kind of sick dog with mange. Or
got me a Pontiac Polaroid.
Now,
I can only imagine this lady because being as I am originally from Texas and half my family is from Texas, I know how Texas people are. I can only imagine this lady. It was probably hilarious. I woke up. I walked outside to smoke my Virginia Slim and drink my Folgers extra strong. It's the only thing I like that dark. But anyway, and I seen this little thing, and I said, Lord Jesus, what is that in my yard? I said, well, Rebecca's dog. It ain't Rebecca's dog. That little fucker gets out and eats up all my begonias, and I get super mad. He shits in my cat's litter box and then eats the cat's shit, and then he shits it out again, and it's just double shit, and it smells fucking terrible. So I shot that motherfucker, and I had him stuffed. He's in the den. Right next to the guest bed.
Right. Now.
It's a coffee table now, y'all.
We've talked a lot about the Latin American Chupacabra, the Texas Chupacabra, and, along the southern states. Chupacabra just isn't a southern cryptid. The strange creature has been reported in northern states like Pennsylvania.
The Pennsylvabra?
Yes. In 2010, there was a sighting in, Dauphin County?
Sure. Dauphin County. Young Dauphin County.
And these sightings were referred to as the Keystone Chupacabra. In this case,
why is he like shitty beer?
Yes. Well,
Keystone's fucking terrible.
About like Bush.
No, Bush is definitely better than Keystone. Keystone tastes like fucking sticks.
I'm a beer snob.
Trust me. No, you're not, because neither am I. But trust me, I can say that Keystone tastes like sticks. I've had it multiple times in my life because it's like 74 cents for a 30 rack. And I also used to have a neighbor that drank a 30 rack like every night. And when you asked him what it tasted like, he would tell you it tastes like sticks. And then he would oftentimes eat a bug. He was fucking hilarious.
All right.
We got the cops called on us in that neighborhood so much.
Of course you did.
We took an old chair and put casters on the bottom of it, and then like fucking strung like a tow rope out the back of a car, and we were just doing the circles on the fucking 2 cul-de-sacs. It did not end well. Those casters got real hot and started smoking and melting on the road and shit.
All right. In this case of the Keystone Chupacabra, it has been confirmed that the people were seeing stray dogs, foxes, coyotes, and possibly even small bear with mange.
In Pennsylvania?
Yes, in Pennsylvania.
But, yeah.
And we'll touch on the mange thing a little bit more later on when we get here in a minute. When we kind of get to this kind of what the causes and theories of what this actually is. But since this is a paranormal show and we like this shit.
Good synopsis.
Pennsylvania, not that far from New Jersey.
No.
What cryptid is in New Jersey?
Kyrie?
No. I didn't say flat earther. I said...
I would say fucking Kevin Durant, but he's not there anymore because that motherfucker is built like a cryptid. He's built like Slender Man. KD is fucking Slender Man. I figured it out.
Papa Will's correct. The Jersey Devil.
Yeah, but the Jersey Devil doesn't really fit the description, though.
The early description...
Yeah, but the Jersey Devil also has like a fucking horse head.
Well...
Traditionally.
Yes. But...
I'm just playing Jersey Devil's advocate here.
Maybe it just elongated the nose a little bit, but it does fit.
Hold on. As a fat Asian American, I need to know where the fuck you got that technology real quick, because I got some uses for that shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But a winged creature, cryptid, maybe there is some kind of correlation with the original sighting of... we have the Mothman in the 60s, Jersey Devil, which has been going since...
The Jersey Devil's been around for fucking ever.
15, actually, 15... As soon as...
Well, because one of the sidebar explanations for the Jersey Devil is...
Wasn't it a witch or something?
There was that, but there's also the theory that if you go far back enough, it could have been possibly, obviously... Or not even possibly, like a possible explanation that is a little out there, but given its physical description, it may have been some type of late surviving pterosaur evolution or species, like pterodactyls and shit.
Right.
Because the pterosaur was a pretty broad family. They had more blunt-nosed species and shit like that. Because that's one of them. Because there's also another explanation for the Thunderbird.
Right.
There's that old photo from the 1800s of those guys in like West Virginia or some shit like that like allegedly killed a pterosaur, and there's a picture of it. But I'm pretty sure it's been very well documented that picture is faked.
Fucking ruin it for everybody.
I know, a bunch of sluts.
But I think it's interesting that the early accounts of what Puerto Rico was seeing in the 70s kind of matches up with the winged creature, whether you want to go Mothman, Jersey Devil type, a winged typed cryptid. It's very interesting. Maybe that's what the 70s version in Puerto Rico was actually seeing, not a chupacabra. You know what? You understand what I'm saying? What I'm getting at? You smell what I'm cooking?
I feel you, dog.
All right. But I just think it's interesting how these kind of cross mingle and intertwine. It's very interesting over vast distance and a wide time gap.
Has there ever been one sighted in the Ohio Valley?
I kind of briefly looked, but didn't really come up with anything good.
Okay, because that brings me to this news article that I found.
Okay,
that we have to talk about, because this could be the Chupacabra if all the pieces fall into place for long enough.
Okay.
Have you heard about this? No. Wild cat was found in Cincinnati with cocaine in its system.
Cocaine cat?
Yes.
Were they filming another movie?
No, this is real.
Was Ice Cube's son in it?
In the cat? I mean, I fucking hope not, for the sake of his career. So, this is a fucking real thing. Cocaine Bear did just come out, but this is from NPR, is what I'm reading here. The big cat was kept as a pet and escaped from his owner's car during a police stop in January. They just caught it on March 10th. Or this story just broke on March 10th. So it was out for 2 months.
A cat?
Yes.
What kind
we'll get to that.
Cat are we talking about here? A pussy cat?
No.
No.
We'll get to that. Oh. That's when Hamilton County dog wardens, a division of the Cincinnati Animal Care, got calls about what was thought to be a leopard spotted up in a tree. Responders were able to retrieve a Myri, I don't fucking know, and bring him back to the shelter, where the medical team called in an expert whose credentials include working on the Tiger King case and the Zanesville tragedy, which I think will be an upcoming episode at some point.
Wait a minute. Do you really want to hire somebody that admits to working on the Tiger King case? That has
case, not the show.
Okay.
But and the Zanesville situation, which, like I said, I think the Zanesville situation will be I think we will do an episode on that at some point.
Okay.
You remember Zanesville? Zanesville, Ohio, the guy that had all the exotic animals.
Yes.
See, in the chat, Gregory said he thought the Chupacabra lived at our house. No, that's the Chupacabra. Now, where was I? Experts suspect a Myri was actually a serval, a long-legged, big-eared wild cat. What? Yeah.
Couldn't find that either.
Native to sub-Saharan Africa and illegal to own in Ohio. To confirm that, the medical team took DNA samples and also tested him for narcotics. Quote, a Myri tested positive for exposure to cocaine, and DNA tests concluded he was indeed a serval. I'll be honest, I don't give a fuck about the DNA testing. Why the fuck do you need to DNA test it? There's a fucking animal expert there that worked on fucking the Tiger King case and this other shit. What the fuck are you talking about? You can't just go, that's a fucking serval, dog. I could have looked at this thing and gone, I'm pretty sure that's a fucking serval, just from seeing them on like documentaries and shit. They're pretty they are leopard. They're much smaller than leopards, but they're pretty tall. They have long legs. That's what makes them noticeable. They have long legs.
Huh.
Not like dumb long, but like longer than they like it. It's like a micro cheetah almost, but less dog-like. Okay. Because in case you didn't know, cheetahs also share a dog-like characteristic in that they are the only feline that does not have retractable claws. The more you know.
That's why I keep you around, damn it.
So why did the shelter test a Myri for drugs in the first place? The short answer is a capuchin monkey named Neo. Now, last year, local animal control seized the monkey from his Cincinnati home after a veterinarian who saw videos of him believed that he had ingested Xanax and or cocaine and was in need of medical care.
Well, maybe the monkey was a little nervous.
Neo tested positive for amphetamines and underwent treatment and is now, quote, safely in an undisclosed location, according to Anderson. His owner was indicted on animal cruelty charges.
I was not aware we had a animal rehab anywhere here in Cincinnati.
Wait for it.
Oh, okay.
Wait for it. Since then, Anderson says, it's become standard protocol for the shelter to test for narcotics for any animal that is more, quote, exotic than the usual household pet. But wait for it. Why is this a thing? And this is a quote. Of course, We also test for narcotics on any dog or cat displaying behaviors that would lead us down that path, he added. Amiri was extremely agitated at the time. No shit, it's a fucking desert cat that shouldn't be in goddamn Cincinnati, Ohio. And, which is understandable given what he had been through that morning. But we were able to sedate and treat.
Going through withdrawal.
We were able to sedate and treat before transporting.
Fucking crackhead cats.
Yeah. Yeah. So they found a serval with coke or amphetamines in his system.
That's not even the part of the story that I fucking give a shit about. Let's be honest. What that cat does on its own fucking time, if it wants to party, it can party. I don't give a fuck.
As long as it's clean, using clean needles.
That's all I care about.
Hey.
I want to know, how long was this fucker out for? 2 months?
Yeah.
Just roam. What the fuck did it eat?
Anything, birds and shit. That's what they eat in nature.
Well,
they're tremendous jumpers.
Do you know how bad I would shit my pants?
They're not that big. They're bigger than a house cat, but they're not leopard big or even like mountain lion big.
Okay,
I'd say at the top of the head, 3 feet. Like it's a good sized cat. Don't get me wrong. Like it could fuck you up, but like it's not like a traditional big cat.
Okay,
I forget what the smallest cat in the world is. It's so adorable, and it's a wild cat. Like it's a voracious hunter. It has like a crazy high percentage of successful hunting rates, and it's like
really
teeny tiny. They're so fucking cute, but they'll fuck you up. Anyway, cocaine cat might be Chupacabra in Ohio. We don't know. We have not gotten back any fucking irrefutable data on that. Go on.
All right. Speaking of University of Cincinnati. No, I'm just joking.
They saved a Bill's life.
Maybe it was it wasn't a strange cat. It was the mascot.
The bear cat?
Yeah.
Isn't a bear cat
an actual cat? But let's face it.
Is it a cat though?
I think it's, but isn't
it related to like a Wolverine?
You think you might be right.
Which I find funny that Ohio State's rival is related genetically to a neighboring school that shares the same state. Collusion? Tune in at 11 with Brock Fuckmeister to find out.
That's a hell of a conspiracy you got going on there. A little fuck you from the...
I mean, considering there's still people that are willing to like stab each other over a fucking football game, over a strip of land that's that goddamn big on this fucking map.
Hey, we almost went to war.
Literally.
And you know who got fucked the most out of that fucking war? Or that negotiation? Fucking... was it Wisconsin?
I don't know. Nobody seems to give a shit about that one.
The UP of Michigan, that was what the government gave Michigan with the upper UP. Which was
Are you really missing anything?
Really? I've been to the UP of Michigan.
I mean, it's beautiful during the summer.
Place.
Like summertime, great. Wintertime, eat my dick. Just send me to the middle of the tundra.
I played a game up there one time in October.
Oh, fuck that.
And
you might as well just play in like fucking like.
Luckily, it was a dome, but got into the UP of Michigan and fucking a foot of snow in October.
Was it the biodome? Let's get out of here. We'll build our own biodome with the dome within a dome. He said, "What's wrong, Squirrely? Is your sciatic?"
Yes. All right, let's get back to the Chupacabra.
We suck at this.
No, we don't. That's why people love us. Let's talk about the UFO connection a little bit. Now, UFO sightings have happened at the time of the attack, especially in the Puerto Rico in the 70s case. There is a long-standing theory that cattle mutilations have something to do with UFOs. But there are some differences. You know, typical cattle mutilations, what we know of as cattle mutilations, are more surgical, organs removed, just not the blood. Precision dissection, essentially. But there is, it's strange. It's a strange similarity, I guess.
Down, down, down.
Because I never understood why they associated cattle mutilations to UFOs.
Chupacabras are strange when you're an alien Eating on goat's blood. Fucking your mom.
Oh, shit, we are about done. But
I kind of figured.
What I don't understand, I mean, I just don't get how a cattle mutilation automatically points to alien.
Yeah, like what the fuck do aliens get? Like, unless it's just a pastime. Like how old settlers used to just fucking shoot buffalo while the train was going by.
Right. I mean, it'd be...
Pieces of shit.
I mean, what are they going to learn? They're not learning anything about us. If it is alien technology or alien creatures doing cattle mutilations, and maybe these... I believe the vampire beast story more than aliens. I'll go that far. Maybe it's just really big vampire bat.
I know, like I can't wrap my head around a legitimate reasoning of why fucking aliens would come down here and fuck up cows.
Yeah,
what are they learning? They'd be like, they're delicious.
Now, if you want to talk about alien abductions of human beings, the dominant species on the planet, then I kind of I'll entertain that. But I lean more toward government bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
It would make more sense.
Government testing.
Government. Guh apostrophe ment. Government.
They, I mean, and even alien abductions, I almost can lean more toward government kidnappings. Not that the government would ever kidnap its citizens. I'm not saying that. But that's more likely than fucking E.T. coming down and saying, "Hey, Bob,
they totally wouldn't.
Let me probe you."
They totally wouldn't snatch us up and waterboard the shit out of us.
And shove shitty things in our peepees.
Or shove our peepees in shitty things.
Well, I'm down for that.
Hashtag Buttigieg. Or however the fuck you say his name.
All right.
I actually kind of like that guy.
My problem, not to get too political, my problem is, how do you want to go from the fucking mayor of South Bend, Indiana, a shithole, to become president of the United States?
Hey, maybe that's what we need.
That's like going from, freshman football to wanting to start for the Buckeyes.
Maybe that's what we need.
No.
We need a fresh start.
Well, he's doing a bang-up job as transportation secretary.
Hell yeah, brother.
Bang-up fucking job.
Next.
All right, let's go over possible explanations of what the Chupacabra
I love
is.
how the first one is by itself in bold, and it's just one fucking word.
Well, it's page break, damn it. Now, we have to, whenever you talk about any of this shit, you have to talk hoax. Whether it be Chupacabra, crop circles, whatever. There has to be an element, a percentage, a small portion or large portion of it has to be a hoax. People just being assholes or trying to get famous. But some skeptics argue that the Chupacabra sightings are simply the result of hoaxes, pranks. People are spreading these false stories to gain popularity and even possibly earn a quick buck. Or to be assholes.
I mean, that's most cryptids, I think.
Well,
I'm not saying that that's most cryptids and like none of them exist, but a lot of the evidence for said cryptids is probably horse shit for somebody to try to piggyback some money.
Right. I can't argue that.
Just look at what was that movie? There's a movie that is hilarious as fuck. It's got oh shit, what's his name? He was in Waiting. He was Justin Long.
Okay.
It's got Justin Long in it.
This is the end?
No. It's not.
That's Justin Long, right? That's Justin Long. He's in This Is the End. He was the one that came in town.
No, that's Jay Baruchel.
You sure?
Yeah.
Are you positive?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But Justin Long's in.
Is he?
I think so.
I don't know if he is.
I think he's in.
I know he's in Zack and Mary Make a Porno. He was the high school jock dude's gay lover.
Wasn't he in She's Just Not In?
She's Just Not That Into You?
Yeah.
That was Jay Baruchel.
Was that Jay Baruchel
Yeah.
too? You're right.
Yeah.
But I think...
But I can't
remember.
remember.
Who I always get Justin Long mixed up with? They look alike. What's the kid that plays the Flash now?
I don't know.
They look, Justin Long and him kind of look alike. Justin Long just looks like an older version.
I'm not getting into those comments. But I can't remember the name of the fucking movie. It's not a popular movie.
Right.
But it was funny as shit, and like it all kind of culminates in like this hoax to make money off of Bigfoot. I can't even remember. There was some other people in it because it wasn't a big like blockbuster movie. I don't even know if it came out in theaters at all. But the shit was funny as fuck. I'll have to find it. It was a great movie. It's a great like movie that nobody's seen. Much like Gentlemen Broncos. If you've never seen Gentlemen Broncos, fucking go find that movie and watch it. It's so awkward and amazing. You want to see, an albino ball python, take a massive shit on a man's fucking chest. Watch Gentlemen Broncos. It's so fucking funny, man. Anyway, next.
All right. The next two that I have here, we're going to basically combine together. Misidentification and disease. Most sightings can be just a simple case of misidentification, which, let's be honest, in the real world that I live in, my reality, this is probably makes up 98% of all cryptid sightings. If I had to put a number on it.
Yeah.
I think there is 2% of that what people see might be some, depending on the witness. You know, trained outdoorsmen, trained hunters are less likely to make a misidentification. Now you get Karen that wants to watch the TikTok and decides she's going to start hiking in the woods. Then we got it. Then we got a misidentification. But some people mistake ordinary animals like coyotes, wild dogs, and foxes for the dog-like cryptid due to their unusual appearance and not seeing them that often. Now let's talk about the disease. We talked about mange. Mange is basically a skin disease, causes loss of hair, causes scabbing, or a lot of wounds, or some sort of skin irritation, which could account for the scale look.
And some jergens.
Yes. Now, you like we talked about earlier, a bear with mange walking on two legs basically is a werewolf.
Right.
Looks just like a werewolf. A coyote or any kind of four-legged creature walking around with mange would possibly, and if it would have a little bit of hair on its spine, would look like the spikes, could be basically the chupacabra. I mean, that could be a good explanation for it. But
anything with mange is fucking kind of creepy looking.
Right.
Like, I don't give a fuck. You could have a squirrel with mange, and that shit would be kind of fucking creepy. Sasquatch Gang. Yes, that's the fucking name of the movie.
Good job, Greg.
That movie is so fucking dumb, but it's funny as shit, and everybody should watch it.
But like you just said, any animal with mange or any animal that is hairless, they are creepy.
Fuck, I'm watching Sasquatch Gang tonight.
The creepiest freaking animal of all time that I've seen is a cat with no freaking hair. Those bald cats, what are they called?
Sphinx cats?
Fuck those things. Those things look evil.
I like them more than a lot of other cats.
Oh, I don't like any cats, but that motherfucker, fuck that. That looks like it's straight from Satan's anus.
If I was gonna have a cat, it would probably be one of those, just because it's so outlandish looking.
Yeah. Now, the last thing that we want to get into for another explanation of all these chupacabra sightings.
Tusk is fucking stupid as shit, too.
Mass hysteria. It is very possible that the chupacabra sightings are the result of a mass hysteria or a collective delusion.
Mm-hmm.
This could occur in a group of people because of people that become convinced that they had seen a creature and then begin to share the stories with others, and those sightings just keep building and building until you get a chupacabra, like a cryptid version of the telephone game. Karen's got to outdo Betty's sighting.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Especially when you get out in the middle of nowhere.
And hysteria plays a big role in the paranormal. Completely, I think, because if you've been on an investigation, one person could have an experience, and kind of everybody else can feed off that energy. Yeah. And eventually, you got a haunting, you got a fucking Satan's coming down to possess your bodies.
Satan's
with
you got all the Satans.
You know, it doesn't take much for the energy to change and for people to kind of go off the freaking deep end.
Yeah.
When it comes to it. So I think hysteria could play a big role in cryptid sightings. or multiple cryptid sightings in an area.
Yeah.
And then you also have to take, what if there has been reports of missing people, like the missing 411, around a state park. You get a couple stories of, or a couple incidents where kids have been abducted or went missing in a wooded area. All of a sudden there's a weird sighting. That's going to spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
And people are going to go freaking crazy. People are going to start seeing things. We can convince ourselves of just about anything.
Oh, fuck yeah.
We are the worst witnesses of all time.
How do you fucking...
What? What are we looking at? What the fuck are you doing?
That's how you pronounce the that hairless dog species. That's hard to pronounce.
Well, I surely the fuck won't be saying that word.
Well, I mean, no, neither will I. But yeah, no, because that's another one of the things that comes up is hairless dog species.
Yeah,
because there's a shitload of there's the Chinese crested dog. How are we gonna turn you up? What, like on the show? We can't, motherfucker. You just called me on my phone. That's as loud as my phone gets.
We didn't have time. We don't have the setup to plug it in now.
Right. If I would have known we were gonna get a fucking random call in the middle of the podcast, we could have hooked it up into the audio equipment. But no,
like we did that one time on the Patreon. Or
I don't even know what that was. That was just a show.
That was What the Fuck Wednesday.
But fucking
that ain't happening, Gonzo.
It was hard enough to correlate two people, but because. Like there's the Chinese crested dog, and then there's a I can't remember. There's a Egyptian dog, a hairless dog, that is actually kind of sick looking. But as far as I know, I believe most of the quote unquote hairless dogs breeds are central, like Mexican, Central American, or South American in origin. Like that one, that one is fucking supposedly the Mexican hairless dog. Also comes in multiple sizes. But there's like an Ecuadorian one. There's an Argentinian breed. There's a bunch. That doesn't really explain the results of the attacks of the Chupacabra, though. I don't think that those dogs are capable of...
well, I didn't mention...
We're definitely, from now on, let's definitely not use that word in the chat.
Oh,
that is apparent. That is I've come to find out that's a no word on all social media.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like apparently people are just taking it out entirely. Like they're just they're cutting that audio out of their fucking.
Or they'll
shit
say
from now
the R word.
Yeah, because I've been noticing some stuff like that, and I'm like, we might have to fucking use those tactics.
Yeah. But shit, I lost my
hairless dogs.
No, I was fuck.
Were we gonna jump into the thylacine?
Yeah, you can go ahead. While you.
So we've talked about the thylacine as a
possible
Chupacabra
explanation for the Chupacabra
culprit, because again we've touched on this briefly. There was I believe it was two breeding pairs of thylacine that were part of that shipwreck off the East Coast that were headed to the Bronx Zoo back in the day, a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Which, for anybody who doesn't know, go look up the thylacine or the Tasmanian tiger. It's a canine from Australia that is just really weird looking. It's got stripes on its hindquarters.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's got very short hair.
It's almost like God was drunk that day and said, throw stripes on his ass.
But, yeah, so it had a striped ass, basically. Really lean, really short hair, really big mouth. Like I said, they could open their mouth. Like, I don't know if they could unhinge or unjoint their jaw, but they could open their mouth to an extreme angle for a mammal. And like, because it was a marsupial. And
I didn't mention this, but that is a report of a lot of the more the reptilian type Chupacabra sightings. Is it almost its mouth opened extremely wide, almost snake-like, hence the reptilian, more like a snake, I know it, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. But and see that's the other crazy thing is like, I always say don't quote me because I was wrong in this description. It's not a canine.
What is
the
it?
thylacine was a marsupial.
Okay.
Like a kangaroo or an echidna, like, which is weird because that would take away from the, I don't know if credence would be the right word, but the legitimacy of saying that the thylacine may have started a breeding population in the Americas, because they would be one of the only marsupials in the Americas. Because if you go back in time with Pangea and all, then Swaziland and all that shit, it's odd because like they should be here.
Right.
The marsupials as a gene or a group should be here more than they are. It's crazy because they had a very small mathematical percentage possibility of ending up in Australia, but yet like 96% of marsupial species are in Australia. So at some point they just moved and then they started evolving, because I think there's only 2 marsupial species in the Americas: the opossum and the possum, I believe. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Opossum for sure. But I think there's only 2. Koala bears, all that shit in Australia. But here's another backup to that. And this goes further than that, than the thylacine Bronx Zoo thing. So let's get into some even weirder shit.
Okay.
So maybe the thylacine could be accountable for some of these stories if they do have a breeding population in South or Central America, because there's also the possible fact that, so if we look about look
about what?
Somebody's about to get fucking silenced off of this shit. So if you look at the genetic breakdown of the people of South America, there's people in South America that have Australo-Asian genetics, which is strange because you don't find that in North America, or what is now, Canada's in North America, but you don't find that anywhere along the suggested path of travel across the Bering Strait and down through North America into South America that traditionally we think that human beings took to get to South America to populate it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would think if they went up through Asia from Australia, or the Australo-Asian region of the world, then that genealogy would in some way, shape, or form somewhere be present throughout that entire route, but it's not.
Right.
Meaning that, well, I don't want to say meaning that, but the easy and I guess the most easily accepted reasoning for that is seafaring people that went from a place where that genetic diversity existed, or not genetic diversity, that genetic group existed, and traveling by ocean to South America and then populating that area too, possibly bringing with them species of animals from where they were at.
Right. Yes.
And could they have domesticated thylacine? That could have been a thing. Because
well,
they're finding that shit. They're finding shit all the time.
Right.
They've just, in the last 10 years, I think, have found, I don't remember the exact scientific name, but like a wild mountain dog in, I think, Tasmania that they thought was extinct. So, yes, thylacine's a marsupial, but, being that it is kind of capable of or living within the same lane, I guess, physically, it would have the same kind of possible hunting patterns and shit as a canine. So if you're finding a canine that we thought was extinct, Thylacine very well could be out there. Australia's big as fuck.
Right.
First off, if anything crazy is out there still, it's in fucking Australia. But yeah, like that. Like I heard and read about that genetic marker that was found in South America that just doesn't fucking make sense. Because as we know, the human travel to South America, it doesn't exist along that path. And if you look at it, a lot of the like tribal people in South America have, you know, not to racially profile, but like a lot of them have like a wider nose and stuff like that you see in like Aboriginal Australians and people from New Guinea and shit like that.
I think it's pretty much been, I don't want to say proven, but it's pretty well thought of now that the ancient world was much more traveled than what archaeologists want.
100%.
Historians want to say now.
Look at
we know the Vikings.
This is a whole different tangent, but I mean, look at the Chinese treasure ship fleets. Have you ever heard of those?
No.
There was a point in time in like it was either the 1400s or the 14th century where China just decided that it was going to open up trade, and I don't even know if it was trade. I think they might have just been dispersing things to places like East Africa and all these other places, and they had these fucking massive ships, like massive. I do believe that they're theorized because there are none. They burned them all. There was a dynasty change, and the new, you know, hierarchy burned all of them and was like, nah, fuck all that noise. We ain't doing that shit no more.
Right.
But I do believe they were like hundreds of feet long in like the 1400s.
Right.
Like had like upwards of like 6, 7, 8 masts for fucking, you know, I don't know. I'm not a ship person, but like huge.
Right.
And they were going to East Africa, possibly around the southern tip of Africa, through the Mediterranean, like, because you can still find fucking remnants of silks and shit like that from China and all these places that date back to before anybody ever thought that there was any type of trade going on.
Well, like we talked about a couple episodes ago, the ancient Egyptians. There are some scholars that believe they were more seafaring than what we give them credit for, and they possibly could have made it.
How could you justify that they're not?
Right.
They lived a lot of them lived on the Nile.
Right.
Which is a direct fucking route to the Mediterranean Ocean.
Right.
Or to Mediterranean Sea, which is a direct portal to the ocean.
Which, like I think we said in that episode, where there is evidence of hieroglyphics of a shipwreck, an Egyptian shipwreck in Australia.
Yeah.
And the survivors were taken in by the Aboriginals. Now, they tried to say it was a hoax. Well, I think we talked about it. They tried to say it was a hoax, but some of the hieroglyphs that were in that cave weren't even discovered until like the 70s, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. And this has been around. How did somebody hoax it that 40 years before they even saw that hieroglyph or that glyph or whatever? You know, so that kind of takes out the hoax. But that just goes to show that the ancient world was much more traveled than what they weren't sedentary. Or whatever that word is. They
weren't landlocked and stuck in a location.
They moved around, and they probably ventured out and shared ideas and probably went to war.
Well, and I mean, like, it's like,
but
everybody's like, well, the evidence. I'm like, motherfucker, do you see like what the world does to matter on the surface of the planet over time?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if we're talking, if we leave a fucking, I don't know, if I drop a pack of cigarettes in the front yard, it's gonna be gone within a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What the fuck is the world taking out in 20,000 years?
Right.
Or even more with the time scale that realistically we're starting to see that human beings were probably populating the earth.
Well, a perfect example of that is the Amazon.
fucking nuts.
LiDAR has proven there are gigantic cities buried in the Amazon.
It's fucking nuts.
That have been taken over by the
Well, and then you go back to the original, I can't remember his fucking name, the original guy that adventured through like Brazil and the rainforest in the 1500s, talking about how there was huge cities with like
gold,
1 million fucking citizens and shit, like numbers that didn't exist when you're talking about that area of the world from what we think we know.
Right.
But it's like, they're like, well, the evidence, motherfucker, like, especially in a place like the rainforest. The rainforest is going to take back whatever you're not going to keep up on. The rainforest or any big forested area or any desert, anything, nature is going to take back whatever you do not keep from it. More effectively than we can fucking, like...
Quit cutting your grass for 30 years and see what the fuck happens.
Nature does a better job of taking back what we've done than we do of keeping up our own shit.
Right. But getting back to the cryptid kind of topic here, if the ancient world was more traveled than what academia gives it credit for, and they were venturing out, like what we were just talking about, who says they didn't bring some of their native animals,
fauna,
that were somewhat domesticated, in like the shipwreck going to the Bronx Zoo, or that could explain, because not everything's a wild hog to where it just fucking multiplies. Like,
not everybody could be Tim Allen and John Travolta.
Yeah, there could be small populations of this, which could account for a lot of these cryptid sightings.
Well, and there's also, like, how do we know that there also just wasn't all of these things that we talk about at one point? And there may not be any more, but within human history, all of these things that we tell stories about and your kids are scared of because they watched the fucking Discovery Channel about it. Like, all of them, or at least realistically, a lot of them were a thing at one point. And how are we to say that that's not just kind of where the lore comes from? And it's just so deep-seated in human nature and in different cultures around the world that they just live on to this day in the facility of like a tulpa. Like Bigfoot. Bigfoot was a fucking thing. It just wasn't Bigfoot. It was Gigantopithecus blackie.
Blackie?
Yes. With 2 eyes at the end. Thing. Legitimate thing. Like closest known species that could be related to Bigfoot. Very well could be Bigfoot. And it was a thing. And for all we know, with the way history works and the way that things erode and break down over time, there could have been some type of hominid human subspecies that did share the earth with Gigantopithecus. It's very possible.
Right.
Because like it's just like a lot of people like to think that Neanderthals, and there's another subspecies, I guess, of hominid between, were like this far off thing. Like, no, we existed with Neanderthal.
Right.
There was crossbreeding with Neanderthal. Neanderthal genes are still present in like a single digit percentage of human beings that are on the face of the earth right now.
Right. I don't know.
So if that's a thing and everybody thought that we were so far removed from them, yeah, people probably just been telling these fucking crazy stories ever since. It's all of it. Fucking Loch Ness Monster, Plesiosaur, Bigfoot, Gigantopithecus, fucking who knows, Jersey Devil, Pterosaur, Thunderbird, Pterosaur, Chupacabra, who fucking knows? It could just be a thing that we already know existed. We just don't know that it was this.
Who knows?
You just got to look at all the fucking stories and see what adds up. Just like floods. Great floods pretty much exist everywhere in every lore around the world.
That is true.
Sometimes,
civilization,
and a lot of it makes sense. Yeah. A lot of it makes sense for some of the shit that we have now today, and that we can look at that we just don't think of it that way. Sometimes history can teach us things, and if we don't learn from it, we repeat it.
History does not repeat; it rhymes. You never heard that?
No.
I can't take credit for it. I forget where I heard it, but
interesting.
It doesn't repeat; it rhymes.
But yeah, like all of this shit could just be like it could just be deep-seated tall tales. That may be rooted in fact, just a fuckload of a long time ago.
I don't know. It's a good question, but I think
I love how we get all like fucking hypothetical and deep at the end of the show all the time.
I know. We're assholes, immature pricks in the beginning, and then we're actually serious, scholarly, I might say, toward the end. Well, you are. I'm not. I'm still an old prick.
Well, that's what makes these conversations good, though, is because all of the random, it could potentially be bullshit that I look into and find interesting. You always tend to be like, the old dog new tricks kind of deal.
Right. I mean, it's who knows what this fucking shit. When it comes to cryptids, paranormal, psychic ability, who the fuck knows?
All of it.
There might be, and I've said this before, and we've talked about this before. In all things in life,
every big bullshit flower started as like the seed or something that fed the seed was truth.
Right. Or, you have Bigfoot being Gigantopithecus, and then you have Bigfoot being another version, Bigfoot being E.T. or dimensional jumping being. The answer is somewhere in the middle.
I like how that came out because it definitely sounded like you just said dimensional jumping bean. I like that way better.
But in life, that's the way it is. You have the answer's always in the middle. You always have two sides. The answer's always going to be in the middle. Conspiracy. You have QAnon, and then you have fucking something else. The answer's in the middle.
God, it is crazy how huge my head looks if I lean forward, which I very often do.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's it's a fucking thing, and
I mean, but cryptid is like the UFO phenomenon. People are seeing something. What the fuck are they seeing? Is the question.
Yeah.
Are they seeing ET or are they seeing?
And that's what I'm saying. Like how much of this shit, not just Chupacabra, how much of this shit in general that people talk about across the world over millennia or generations, if you will. How much of it is just you're just seeing something, and then like I was just talking about, there's just been something that has been so ingrained in at least the population of people that around where you live for so long that, again, it has almost a tulpa effect, and it has this unknowing, unwilling mental hold on the way that you think about stuff, even without meaning to think of it this way, that it skews your perception into seeing something that is explainable and right in front of you, but because it's dark and the light hits just right, and you have this forethought stored in the back of your head from years of inundation of information, that it just, you're not seeing a fucking coyote with mange. It's the Chupacabra.
Right.
You're not seeing a bear at a strange angle at a strange time of day. You're seeing fucking Bigfoot. You're not seeing a giant sturgeon. It's Nessie.
When emotions are high, there's a reason
why. And when fear is involved.
When fear is involved and emotions are high, there's a reason why human beings are horrible eyewitnesses.
Well, there's also the fact that like, what if we can't directly explain it, our minds are going to come up with some phantasmical explanation for it.
Yeah, our minds fills in a lot of gaps.
Because if it's not something we know, it's got to be something nuts.
Right. So, I don't know.
Which is kind of dope.
We will continue to dive down these rabbit holes and give you a honest answer. And maybe...
I don't want to say an honest opinion. We don't have answers for shit.
Only thing I can guarantee, there will be a lot of dick and fart jokes.
There wasn't that many this time.
So if you like dick and fart jokes and it's an old guy and a young guy that looks like an angry lesbian, even though I was a little offended with the 80s pedo. I was a kid in the 80s, so I'm not that old.
You were a kid for most of the 80s.
I didn't turn...
Oh, yeah, you didn't graduate till, 93 or some
91.
shit? 91. You should have gone with 93.
No. I turned 18 in the year 1990. So I was a child. I was underage for the entire decade of the 80s.
See, I got it easy. My age, the second digit of my age, always lines up with the last year or last digit of the year.
Yes, but the moral of the story, whatever. I can't speak. I don't give a shit anymore.
Moral Oral? You remember that show?
My name is Moral.
Moral Oral was a fucking T-shirt or a fucking TV show on Adult Swim.
Sweet.
I think it was claymation. It was fucking ridiculous.
I don't even remember.
Stupid as shit.
I don't. Oh, just remember, if you want to comment, leave a comment. Leave a comment. We love.
If you, I'd please make one that is funnier than that last one. That shit was fucking.
That was fire. That was fire.
I actually laughed out loud reading a comment that was derogatory towards us. That shit was because I'm used to reading them, but usually it's just like. Yeah. Usually I'm just like, come on. I know you could have said something funnier than that, but that shit was fucking funny. I'm all for the hate comments.
But like I said, I love negative comments. You know why?
Because we love negative comments and positive reviews.
Because there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Publicity. Stroke.
Pub.
Hashtag stroke 2023.
Hey, just because I can't speak, I don't give a fuck.
No, but man, I really hope we get a fucking hilarious comment like that one. That shit was so funny.
All right. We are going to end this episode. We apologize for being a day late, but we had
day late and $1 short.
We had some technical difficulties, and the service tech did not decide to come, so internet was a little sketchy. As I think we've corrected the internet problem.
Yeah, I didn't see a single red bar.
I think our streaming got fixed. So
our CPU usage is down too.
That is why we were late, or why we did not do a show. We were hoping to do a show yesterday, but
we got fucked.
The tech, it was like 6:30, and the tech wasn't here yet, and they called and said it'll be between 9 and 10. I said, well, there goes the episode.
I would have just told them to fuck off at that point.
So then they called at like 9 o'clock and said, we're going to cancel this. I was like, okay, thank you.
Hey, sorry for the inconvenience, but go fuck yourself. All right, have a good day. This is Spectrum Voice calling with a message of, eat a dick. We do what we want.
They said,
fuck you.
Do you want to reschedule? I said, no. I will go pick up the equipment myself and install it myself.
Right, if you got to wait till the next day anyway, you might as well just pick the shit up.
I went and picked up the new equipment and installed it myself today, and now we're up and running. I keep looking at that
scar on my hand because at a weird angle it looks like there's something on there.
So we will be back next Wednesday at our normal time.
Hopefully.
Unless I have another stroke. And if we do...
Even then, we're still going to be... I'll bring all the shit to the hospital. They'll be like, you can't do that here. I'll be like, this is America, bitch. I can do whatever the fuck I want. They'll be like, no, you really can't. I'll be like, shit. All right, then. I guess you're right.
Don't know what we'll do next week, but we'll do something, and it will be funnier than this.
I would call my sister wife, tell her to bring the Ford fucking Ranger around.
All right, Travis, say bye, and we'll get the hell out of here.
Bye.